agree with that financially, not much of a risk, but it's a total risk when you don't want to be the franchise that knows, looks at the guy when his brain is scrambled up being like, hey, that's what we signed up for, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
I can agree with you more, man.
We are live.
Live.
Hello, everybody in streaming land. We are the Podguyz Podcast, bringing it to you as we do every Monday, 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. We are early today. We're at 9. I know. We have to fit this in. We're gonna cut right to the chase. Marquis Ogden is our special guest today.
Woo! Marquis Ogden.
What's up, fellas? How you doing, Tony? What's going on, Kevin?
One of the best offensive linemen in the NFL of all time. Anybody can debate me on that. I'll prove them wrong. Anytime he was healthy in a game, they had a plus 6.5 chance more to win the game. Marquis Ogden, drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that feels like the kiss of death at a certain point of time, like a long part of time right there. And then eventually went from there to, I see it here on Wikipedia, and I'm just going to say Scottish Claymores?
Mm-hmm.
What was going on there?
That was NFL Europe before Goodell shut it down.
Oh, my God.
Ah, damn, Goodell.
Goodell couldn't find something for himself in it, so he shut it down. I mean, couldn't find a reason, an ethical reason to go over there. Definitely wouldn't be thinking out for himself. I would say Super Bowl year would be the Baltimore Ravens, right?
Yeah. So no, I was there. My brother was to the Super Bowl in 2000. So I went there in 04, 05, which was awesome. I got to play my brother, Ray Lewis, the whole game.
Yeah, Ray Lewis, one of the best middle linebackers of all time, 52 there because he would do the push-up game. If everybody is not familiar with the push-up game, use take a deck of cards. If it says 9, do 9 push-ups, shuffle it up, and then do the whole deck sort of thing. Brian Urlacher in that same period of time, just as impactful of a defensive player anymore. Offensive tackle, by the way, one of the toughest positions to play because you don't take a play off. You keep going at it. And you got people that I would say they're, if they're not on steroids, man, they're doing a great impression of it. Coming at you. And steroids do not help offensive linemen at all. You got to be balanced completely.
Well, Marcus also played center as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you're doing a tackle, you can do center as well. But that's tough with the quarterback count. Favorite quarterback to play with, Marcus?
Oh man, you know what? I loved playing with Byron Leftwich. He was great.
One of my favorites. Outstanding. Yeah, when he was playing with the Jaguars, right? You were there for that year.
Mm-hmm. And we were drafted.
That was a really good.
We were drafted the same year.
Yeah, that was a great year for the Jaguars, honestly. And then you had what's his face, Jack Del Rio as your coach.
That was his rookie head. That was my rookie head coach.
This was the problem. Jack Del Rio goes to the Raiders eventually. They make the playoffs, and then the Raiders just can't get out of their own way. They say, "Hey, Jack, thanks for getting us in the playoffs. We're going to get John Gruden in here." So they insert John Gruden, and John Gruden has a speech. I don't know if you remember the speech. The speech could have been subjected, by the way, we ain't going to make the playoffs this year. Boy, was he right. We're probably not going to make the playoffs next year. What the fuck? He was using his John Gruden inspirational tone, though. He's like, guess what? Year 3, probably not going to make the playoffs either. And I'm like, what? He's like, which one?
Way to motivate.
He ended it by saying, which one of you players are going to prove me wrong? And by that time in the speech, everyone's already cashed out. They're like, man, what the fuck is going on here? Why ever they would change it up? Jack Del Rio was in Washington Commanders defensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. How was he as a coach in your opinion?
Oh, he was great, man. I love Jack. Jack was a player's coach. He played in the NFL himself for the Minnesota Vikings. I went to USC, was a great middle linebacker. Jack understood how to really get the best out of us, and he knew how to push us. And man, he was just a great aspirational, inspirational leadership coach for sure.
So I have to ask this question, and not to say, like, even from a football standpoint, that people don't know the NFL like they should know the NFL, but there's some behind-the-scenes stuff that comes when you're a rookie, and you get to a team, and you're drafted up in the rounds. And what was the hazing that happened, the hazing that happened while you were in your rookie year?
Yeah, man.
Um,
So I remember after training camp, all the veterans ended up like, have like a little like vets against rookies, like, a little fight, a little soiree, a little wrestling match. And then, some guys like, want to go a little step further. So I remember Donovan Darius, who was our starting strong safety out of Syracuse. Great guy. He felt like he wanted to cut my hair and wanted to have his number cut into my hair. So I ended up getting tied down, taped down actually with some like the field training tape in my feet in the locker room, and I got a haircut that I didn't want to get. I remember them, taping Byron Leftwich to the goal post, and then leaving him out for like an hour, in the sun, after practice. I remember some guys threw guys into the cold tub, but it was fun, man. I mean, but again, a little wrestling match in the locker room, but it was all in good fun, man. I mean, for me, that was great because it was like teamwork, camaraderie. It was like, bonding, again, man, I was very lucky to be drafted in the National Football League, played for almost 6 years,
huge.
and then being in the NFL, man, is, and being able to get hazed in that, cause to me, it really wasn't that. I mean, it was like, it wasn't anything crazy, man. We had also a rookie talent show, which was really cool, where guys like, started like, dressing up as other players and doing skits and things like that. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, man, overall, man, it was great. I mean, I didn't have a problem. The hazing to me, it wasn't anything like, some of the other stuff you hear. Like, we had a really great group of guys in Jacksonville. So the hazing for me was really, really light.
Now, I've heard of some crazy, crazy stories throughout the years as far as like some insane stuff as far as the hazing is concerned.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I've seen like where they've spent they did the rookie dinner, and then they
Yeah.
spent like $500,000 on
Yeah.
on a dinner where they were just taking dinners home, and they were like, "Oh, rookies are gonna pay."
Yeah, I mean, the most I've ever heard was about 70 or 80,000.
Jesus.
When I went, I think our bill was about, this was 2004. It was 2003, almost 2004. I think our bill was about between 30 to 40,000, somewhere in that
Woo!
range. And my portion was I had to give, because Vince had to pay the most, and then George after him. So I had to pay the third most. So I think I dropped like 8 to 10,000 for the bill that
Holy
night.
shit.
Yeah, guys, because it was offensive linemen, tight ends, and then quarterbacks also showed up. So it was Vince, it was George Reister, who was our tight end out of Oregon, myself, and then Brett Romberg, who was undrafted but became a great center in the NFL out of the University of Miami. So the
Yeah.
four of us had to pay for that at rookie dinner.
Oh wow. Wow.
So that was a lot.
Always the underdog when drafted by an expansion team like the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're struggling. I mean, last time around this last year, with Trevor Lawrence, they finally kind of got it together by doing the old NFL cheat code of draft a wide receiver from LSU. Great idea, right? Just Brian Thomas, great season there. You played in Buffalo too, man, and one of the quarterbacks, Trent Edwards, right?
Of course, yes, of course.
But the other quarterback, I mean, curious, kind of a curious last name, Looseman.
Oh wow,
JP Looseman.
Yeah,
Lossman. I'm sorry, I'm like announcing. I'm pronouncing it wrong. When my Dolphins had him for a hot minute, I'm like, why the fuck do we have Looseman in there? Why is the man lose? And then when he lost, I'm like, there's no shit. No shit, we lost.
I forgot he played at Miami.
I'm telling you what, man, there was a pitcher on. I changed it. I'm like, I can't watch this Dolphins game. There was a pitcher on playing for Toronto called Balfour. And I'm like, fucking A. I wouldn't even know. He walked like 3 people. I'm like, dude, why would you? If you're a scout, do you look at like a last name and you say, I'm not doing it because look at this shit?
I tell you what, man, there have been some crazy guys with some crazy names, man. Again, it's interesting how you say that. He brought that up about him, man. JP, man, was a really great guy. The problem with JP was that if he was honest, he'll tell you himself, he just didn't put in the type of work that other guys did, and the talent, man. Like, I mean, that guy had a cannon for an arm. He had great, attributes. I mean, great stature, great physical gifts, man. He just didn't put in like some other guys did. And so it's just unfortunate because he was definitely, first round draft, he got a cow.
There are quarterbacks. No, he was, yeah. His college tape really pops big time.
It was amazing.
There are quarterbacks that sound like a quarterback, but they don't really. And then but the talent isn't reflected. Colt McCoy sounds like a quarterback. Holy shit, sounds like a cowboy. Sounds like that's great.
Texas boy.
Yeah. Then there's another quarterback, Doug Flutie. Sounds like a cartoon dog. What the fuck is going? Why is Flutie Flakes were out there. He's in there for Buffalo for a hot minute, winging the ball around, all 5'8" of them. And then, the idea
he
of
did
Greg
the Brett
Williams,
Favre for a while too. He went super late.
Greg Williams, Mr. Bounty, which I don't know. I don't see what was wrong with that bounty idea. You're trying to motivate people with a briefcase. You're motivating millionaires with $50,000 in a briefcase. Big deal. It's 50 grand. They can't be looking at 50 grand like this is life-changing money because they already have made life-changing money. I feel like that was a lot of NFL owners, executives really on the Saints at that part of time. Greg Williams became a defensive consultant for a hot minute, if you're familiar with the whole thing. But Sparky's got something on the big board right here. He is our resident artist, so be prepared. He does very graphic drawings. You're going to love them. Flip it around, Spark.
This is what separates us from the other people.
Meanwhile, in Seattle, oh no, JSN has the bill. Definitely does.
So I have to ask this question, Marcus. If, in your opinion, of the teams that you have been on, who is the most underrated player that you have seen in your history?
As a teammate?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see, most underrated. Oh, who's a good one? That's a great player. He was a great defensive leader. He should be in the Hall of Fame, but he doesn't get the visibility like other players in his position. Is London Fletcher. I played with him.
London Fletcher. Good call.
I played with him in Buffalo. Great middle linebacker. Was undersized, but was great. He had great instincts. He was great with his technique. He was almost never out of position. He would take on linemen when necessary. He would come downhill when necessary. And he actually was a really great defender in the passing game. And he really did a great job. He was just a great veteran leader for us. So, yeah, man, without a doubt, I would say it was definitely London Fletcher when I was at Buffalo. Again, great guy, great player, just didn't get the kind of, respect or the type of notoriety that he deserved, I felt, in his career.
Now, how much do you think of that is due to there's a couple different things in the NFL that are so technical. You have to have great poise when you're on the field. So you have to know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. Of course, in weightlifting regiment, just making sure that you're eating well and taking care of yourself. How much of that is involved in that whole situation as well?
Yeah, absolutely it is. But again, when you do those things correctly, on the field, it should show. I just feel that London got caught in a small market syndrome because at the time, Buffalo was not the Buffalo of today. They weren't winning the division constantly. Yeah. They weren't playing at a high level, all the time. Buffalo today, it's still a small market as far as size. It's a great town as far as now they have the great pedigree. When Josh Allen came to town, he ended up changing that franchise and made it somewhere where it was like a winner. So unfortunately, London played with Buffalo for a while, and he also came to the Redskins and played with Washington for a while. He just never got some of the larger franchises like a New England that was winning, or even like, I mean, Miami back then was pretty decent, so they were winning football games.
Well, hold on. We were not very decent. We had Jay Fiedler and relied on Ricky Williams to do everything during those 2000s.
But y'all had a great defense.
Defense was great. Zach Thomas was outstanding.
Zach Thomas, Jason Taylor,
yep.
Tim Bowens. I mean, you all had Patrick Surtain, Sam Allen.
Surtain was nice.
I mean, yeah.
Wannstedt knew what he had at the time, and he's like, oh, shit. We know when we need to run Ricky when he smells a little bit like pot. And then, bam, back-to-back 300-yard games, whatever. Jay Fiedler was the idea. Jay Fiedler was the quarterback that was the last quarterback to play against Dan Marino. So the Dolphins basically said, hey, who's that guy? Maybe we should get him. It's the laziest way to draft a player, or to even acquire talent. Jay Fiedler was the last, thank you, to win.
Miami quarterback to win a playoff game.
He was not. He was not. Chad Pennington was. I thought.
Yeah.
No,
I think
lost.
Pennington won. But yeah, but this, like, but back then, like I say, the teams, and then of course, everybody else, there was just, they just really weren't. Unfortunately, where London went, they just weren't winning. And if you're not winning, right, you're not drawing the attention.
You're not getting noticed
outside, from the outside media. And, all that kind of stuff. Because back then, like I said, New England, I mean, of course, back then, New England was getting everything. They were winning all the time. The Packers were pretty decent, in the NFC. So, I mean, it was just one of those things, man.
Well, right now, Bill Belichick has decided that winning Super Bowls was too easy. So he's put the game difficulty on like super hard, where I know what you're thinking. How could you make your life so difficult, right? He said to himself, I need a 26-year-old girlfriend. I need a coach in the ACC with North Carolina. And I need to hire, my kid, or maybe, I don't know, get a lot of money.
God. Yeah. I don't understand, like, how does things turn around for him so bad? Like,
this is what he did. He saw Rome and he took a torch to it. And he's like, I don't know who did this.
Dude, like, arguably the best coach in NFL's history. And then comes to Carolina. Actually, I live here in Raleigh, Durham area, and man, went to Chapel Hill and it's just not been good. I mean,
there's something to be said. There's something to be said though. Like, I know, right? Like, North Carolina had a pretty good team, pretty serviceable. They were getting there. They had Sam Howell's coming out of there. That's nice, right? Jay Fiedler in 2000, last playoff win. Thank you, Sparky. Proved me wrong again. I'm not going to call that Jay Fiedler's win. I'll call it a team win, because Fiedler didn't go running down the field, sort of thing. Listen, I did want to say something about underhandedness in the NFL. Buffalo Bills, you touched on Josh Allen, right? Now, Josh Allen fell in the draft a little bit because somebody reported out that he had racist tweets. The Buffalo Bills and, everyone was like, oh my God, is this going to affect his draft class? Now, the person who leaked that turned out to be the assistant GM for the Buffalo Bills who drafted him. Kind of underhanded.
Ooh, I didn't know.
That's crazy.
I never heard about this.
Yeah. So, Marquis, have you ever seen something like kind of underhanded like that happen, and then somebody get out in front and be like, "Oh, we don't know anything about it"? And
man. I mean, I've heard of people like saying some guys don't do well as far as like, when they have like their, people come for like draft day for like their interviews and stuff like that. Oh, he's not personable. Oh, he doesn't smile. Oh, he doesn't communicate well, blah, 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 blah. And then they turn around and draft the guy. Now, I've heard that, but man, that's taking a while. Put something out like that, man, that you have no factual basis of, and then turn around and use that and draft the guy. Well, so obviously you put something out that wasn't true. Like,
it was true. He was just like a kid, and, the interpretation of it, like, this was like when he was 13 years old, right? So they put it out there, and all these teams are like, oh, is he going to be good in the locker room? Is he going to say these things in the locker room, sort of thing? And then Buffalo's like, I know, what a jerk, right? Anyways.
Man, I tell you what, I mean, I met Josh because the Bills were my clients for 3 years. I would go and speak to their rookie class. So I had Tre'Davious White's rookie class, Josh Allen's rookie class, and Ed Oliver's rookie class. And I got to meet Josh, man, a great guy, I haven't heard anything about that. But again, like you said, right, man, like, it's interesting how people want to pull stuff up and then try to make a player look a certain way. Then from there, that whole time they're wanting to like draft that player, make that player.
That's shady.
Yeah, that was the thing
so
because
shady.
That's not cool. That's not cool.
The idea was that he might be going to the Jets. Somebody might take him first overall. But Marquis, more importantly, what have you been up to, Marquis? What have you been up to lately?
Yeah, man, I'm doing keynote speaking, business coaching, corporate consulting. I've got an app coming out to help people like, leadership, lead their teams, do weekly roundtables, have like meetups and groups and discuss with their team. So very excited about that. But I also have a podcast called Get Authentic with Marquis Ogden. And
Nice.
That's released every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And we interview amazing people that have amazing stories. And it's all about authenticity at its truest and most rare form.
And where can you find that? Spotify, Spreaker, Deezer.
Yeah, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, anywhere major podcast platform that you listen to. And yeah, people love it. And I also I'm a co-host on the Jaguar Squad show with Mia O'Brien, Tony Wiggins. We're live on YouTube every Monday and every Wednesday. And man, we have some loyal Jaguar fans. In fact, they had a great year last year, 13-4, turned it around. The fans love our show. And so we get everywhere between like 150 to 500 people watching live every Monday and Wednesday. Nice. Monday is 4:30 to 5:30, and then Wednesday is 4 to 5.
Nice. Very nice.
Marcus, I have to ask this question because as soon as you pop up your name in the Google chats, it talks about how you transitioned into business itself.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, you had a very, very lucrative NFL career.
Mm-hmm.
The way that you had your money, it says that you lost your fortune following business failures.
Mm-hmm. That's
Maybe
correct.
you could discuss a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I ended up losing all of my money, Tony, in a construction company when I ended up over leveraging on a job for a client, doing a bunch of work extra that I thought was going to get paid back. I thought I was going to get a change order signed, but I had a lot of pressure from the client to finish the job. I did. I spent about $3 million of my money in a 90-day period. The developer and the GC denied my change order. The bank shut me down 2 days before Christmas, December 23rd, 2012. And once the bank shut me down and the client and the developer and the contractor denied my change order, that was it. I went into Chapter 7 bankruptcy and I lost everything that I owned, home, cars, money, everything. I moved to Raleigh in April 2013 with only $400 to my name.
My God, you did go to Howard University, right? And that does not normally happen to a Howard University alumni. I mean, look at Puff Daddy. He's doing great right now.
Yeah, no.
I know.
We can't.
No.
No.
I had to sneak that in there.
You can't sneak them in.
It does happen. Sparky says, what about teaming up with D Wade and Tom Brady on their new financial planning? Tom Brady lost a lot of money in crypto.
He did.
Like a lot of money in crypto where somebody, he got, there was a whole roast dedicated to him where somebody says, hey man, didn't you know that was fake money?
Well, Marcus, you're a business coach now. Yeah. What is the greatest advice you would tell somebody in order to do investing?
Never let your ego run the show. Never let your ego think that you know everything, that you have to have all the right answers. You don't have to have all the right answers. You don't have to know everything. Get people around you smarter than you that you can trust and allow them to make decisions for you when you don't have the expertise or the wisdom to do so properly.
That's smart. So smart.
Yep. No, it sounds like
that's why I went bankrupt, because I didn't have anybody around me to tell me to not get involved in that project, not to do the extra change order work. And by the time I realized, it was like I was too far in, I was bonded on the job, and I'm like, I put in $250,000. So, okay, I didn't get that back. I gotta get my money back. I put in another $1 million, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta put in another $1 million. I said, well, only got 750, another $500,000 left. Let's just go all in. And I put everything into that project. And if my change order got denied, bank shut me down, I had nothing left.
Man. Yeah, no, and that's that. I'm sure, most importantly, your intentions were in the right place as far as getting the project, not only how you wanted it, how your client envisioned it, but some people are just there to use you, and it's
they did, and you know what, man, I did not get a signed change order, so I accept full responsibility and accountability for what happened to me, because I trusted somebody and I should not have in its business, and that's what it was. And I got taken over the coals, and that was all my fault. And now I've learned, I help my clients and people that I do speaking for or coaching for or on our app or consulting for, learn from our podcast to not make my mistakes.
Yeah, well, the person that did that to you has to live by being themselves for the rest of their lives. So if that's not punishment alone, I don't know what else is, right?
Yeah, believe that, man. And now with me, I've moved on to better things. I love what I'm doing now. Very fortunate people love our show, our speaking, our coaching, our consulting, our podcast. So I'm excited about where we're headed. Our app, like I said, our app will be released in about 30 to 90 days. I'm just loving where we're headed, man.
Well, sports kind of teaches you that too. You play for every game, no matter what. You're down by 3 you play every play 100%, because it's a reflection of how you treat yourself and your own life decisions. Even if you're down by 30, hey, they went up by 30. Why can't we be coming back by 30 in the same, that door swings both ways. And even if you lose by 2, well, at least you didn't lose by 20. That's why I didn't mind when Jameis Winston ran up the score on the Falcons. And, I'm thinking to myself, the Falcons were so offended. Well, man, if they felt that way in the first, second, and third quarter, I bet we'd see a different game. So the hell with them, run up that score, get as many people bonuses. I guess he wanted to get Williams a little bonus. So, he just, essentially helped Dennis Allen lose his job with that, because they're like, Dennis Allen, did you have control of the game? He's like, yeah, I told him to take a knee. But he didn't, so I guess I don't. I don't know. I guess that's how it works. But but Jameis is out there doing his thing still, man. He's out there. He's not eating his hand anymore, which is great. He's throwing dimes. That's progress, right?
That's funny.
He's throwing he's throwing dimes to third stringers as a Giants score. He gets off the couch and almost beats the Packers. They were 9.5 point underdogs. I've been a big Jameis Winston defender, saying that the only people that have taken his job or been deemed to be better than him officially have been Tom Brady, Super Bowl winner, Drew Brees, Super Bowl winner, eventually got the start for the Browns because everybody goes down for the Browns, and then Russell Wilson, Super Bowl winner. Jackson Dart doesn't know how to slide, goes into people with his head. Just stick with Jameis Winston. If you're the Raiders, get this guy. He's a former Heisman Trophy winner, first round overall pick. Just don't have him go outside and order anything from drive-thru, because he'll order $200 worth of something and forget to pay for it. Then the cops will pull him over and say, hey, man, you got to pay for $241 of stuff. And he'll flip off the cops and they'll be like, who is this guy? Sort of thing.
Resisting!
He just did that by mistake. He's just, people come into the NFL. They're still kids, because, now, what the good thing about this whole college kids getting paid thing is that kids are learning how to manage their money a lot earlier. And they're allowed to make mistakes while in college a little bit earlier. Sure, there is that little envelope money that comes under the door once in a while, but they're still able
Thank God for booster clubs.
They're still able to get it on the books and figure it out. And we all get to see how exposed Nick Saban's program actually turned out to be when he's redshirting 5-star athletes. And then he's like, I just miss being a father figure. Dude, these kids got dads. They don't need you to use their free talents. I don't care. You want to be a father figure? Adopt some fucking kids. Do something like that, you jerk. I'm not a Nick Saban fan because I'm a Dolphins fan. I got to see what Nick Saban and Urban Meyer gets, how they coach adults. And they don't coach adults. They coach kids that they have 1000% control over their lives with. And of course, when you're siphoning and hoarding talent in the SEC. And by the way, Urban Meyer, whenever he got sick, what is he, allergic to losing? He's like, I got to leave now. I don't know. And I got a big problem with somebody kicking a kicker. If I was the kicker, I would have gotten up. And by the way, I did kick in high school. I kicked high school football. I would have gotten up. I would have kicked my foot so far.
Marcus, did you ever hear about that story?
No.
Urban Meyer goes up to Jaguars kicker is stretching, right? And he goes up to him and kicks him and says, "Hey, I'm the head football guy around here. You better not miss any kicks like you did last Sunday." And he looks at him, he's like, "Excuse me?" He's like, "You heard me. I'll have you cut and replaced." I'm thinking to myself, you know what? You're an old guy.
True story, by the way. True story.
That's nuts.
So, yeah, Urban Meyer ended up not getting on the plane when they lost to the Bengals, right? And then on Instagram, he's like, Dad just got divorced and hitting up the strip club sort of thing, doing his thing. And you're like, whoa, where's the coach? I don't know, says all the players. Holy shit. Doug Peterson becomes their coach the next year because he showed stability. Doug Peterson, he's got a tennis hat on, shows stability over Urban Meyer. And now they got Duval. Now they got that. Listen, new coach in Jacksonville, he's kicking some ass. He is doing outstanding stuff. It's not like he fixed Baker Mayfield or anything like that. Baker's been very talented for a long time. He got dogged on by Colin Cowherd because Baker Mayfield has a little bit of a lip towards what Colin Cowherd likes to do. You know, those metaphor kind of things, like, well, the Browns are kind of like a marriage, where you don't want to be a part of it, but you're still there. So, those metaphors. Baker made a comment about that, and Colin did not take it so lightly. But anyways, the dude's been able to take the talent that has been acquired, and what happens? Trevor Etienne's already gone. He's out, and they have to replace him real quick. But the Jacksonville Jaguars are on their way. They replaced some defensive guys, played a little switcheroo with the Browns here and there, cornerback acquisitions, and reshuffling money around. But they're on their way. H-in, there you go. Yep. Yeah, hopefully Miami does not give away H-in, like that's not a thing, but
you know what I would love to talk about, Kevin?
Yes, I do.
The success cycle.
I love it.
You may be saying to yourself, what is the success cycle? Of course, Marcus's book, 3 Keys for Achieving Your Goals in Business and Life.
Nice.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, man. So that's my second book where I talk about the 3 keys to success, which are ambition, drive, and hard work. And I focus on how that really has helped us to really get ourselves in a position where we can do a lot of speaking, coaching, consulting. And that is the driving force behind where we're at, what we've been doing with our book. And we've been really fortunate in that regard to kind of get that going. So very, very grateful for that book, which is our second book, which is really a big thing to help us get where we're at today.
So 2 best-selling books. What was the first one?
Sleepless Nights, the NFL, A Business and a Family.
Ooh. How much, not to say what particular detail do you go into in the first book as far as like behind the scenes stuff?
A Business and a Family.
Not really. It's an autobiography about my life. There's some great stories from the NFL that are in there, but mostly it's just more about that and my business failure and then what I went through and all that kind of stuff.
This is a really good cover right here too. So you got a really good pose there for yourself on the cover. Awesome. Like really good. I thought that it was a book about when the Ryan brothers were the coaches for the Bills there for a hot minute. Like imagine
not Rob and
Rob and Rex. Yeah.
Rob and Rex.
I find it. Wait, I'm going to hold you on 1 second, Kevin, because I want to address this. You talk about business failure. Why don't you call it a learning experience instead?
I mean, it absolutely was. But at the end of the day, it also was a failure because I ended up it was a failure because I ended up having to stop doing what I was doing in that area of my life, construction. And then I learned from that, and then I moved into something different. So, yeah, it's definitely a learning lesson. But at the time, it was a failure because when I got here, it broke everything. And then now I call it like a learning lesson because it's like helped me to move myself into my next phase of life. So it's both. It was a failure.
Nice.
because of my ego. Then I end up having to make the transition and kind of go from there.
Yeah, sometimes I get it. You have to address something if it's something as a failure and then close the book on and then be like, all right, that failed and why did it fail? Just yeah, absolutely. The verbiage is important to call it I mean, dude, I've been doing stand-up comedy for 16 years. There are jokes that I've written, complete and total successes. There are jokes I've written where I'm like, this keeps failing and probably for a reason. So move on from it, sort of thing. As I was getting to earlier, talking with the Rex Ryan, the Ryan brothers getting fired, where they say, Rex Ryan, come into the owner's office, bring your brother too.
Oh, Rob and Rex, man, two good guys.
Yeah, imagine if the one said like, hey, I'm too hungover to coach. Could you shave your goatee and coach for me?
Tag, you're in.
NFL royalty right there, because their dad, Buddy Ryan, I mean, took the Eagles all the way to the promised land. One of the defensive masterminds of the old Bears team right there. That Bears team, my God, you want to talk about angry fuckers coming at you. Holy shit. The injuries are real. How are you holding up? Are you good? You're in good mental?
Man, yeah. I've had some bad hip injuries, some bad back. It's still, football's football, man. It's a tough sport. You go through a lot of brutal beatings and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, I'm doing better today. But again, it's just a lot to go through to kind of put your body through, and what you have to adjust to and learn from and try to bounce back from. It's never easy. And when you're playing a sport like football.
They say physically, a lineman usually has not to say an NFL lifespan of about 5 years. But what, 3 years? I want to say 3 to 5, but
3. You got, if you're in the league, you got to be like offensive tackles. You got to be either good and people want you and they want, you have a value to your talent, or you're dropped the next day. Linemen are coming up from college every year, ready to replace starters. And, it's tricky, because I don't want to put it this way, but there's no other way to put it. Fresher legs, fresher back, sort of thing.
It's a run through of the meat grinder.
Yeah, man. It's tough. I mean, you do see when you are a good offensive tackle, when you're a good guard, when you're good on the line, and you got players going till the age of 40 sometimes, like that dude for the Rams. He's now on Amazon Prime right now as the commentator, which Amazon Prime has
Andrew Whitworth.
Yeah. Amazon Prime, they have one problem. They have 6 people. They have 6 hosts. You don't need 6 fucking hosts. You need 3 at most. And I mean at most. If you got like a good dynamic, like Troy Aikman is pretty serviceable with Buck, but yeah. Mark, are you going to get into commentating? You're going to be on First Take one of these times? I mean, you're very articulately spoken, man.
I actually do News Nation Live every Friday, prime time from 9:40 to 9:50 a.m. Eastern with Marnie Hughes, and I love doing that. I love being with Marnie. She's awesome. We talk about upcoming matchups for the NFL that week. We talk about big game highlights and big game matchups. So News Nation is headquartered in Chicago, so Marnie is a big Chicago Bears fan, and so it's really cool to do the show with her. But I do that every Friday, every Friday.
So I gotta ask this before we end our show. I have to ask this ridiculous question because it's on everybody's mind right now.
Gonna do it.
NFL flag football on TV. How much of that? Have you followed that at all?
I've watched a little bit of it. I know what they're trying to do, and I love the fact they're trying to do it. But there's got to be limits to it, and so. I did watch the Tom Brady game. I thought he looked great. He
looked awesome. Really awesome.
Man, he looked great. He looked fantastic.
Suspiciously, right? It's suspiciously like he's been working out.
Gronk hurt himself.
The guy takes care of his body, man, better than anybody that I know. I mean, the way he does is absolutely next world level. So
crazy. He has a crazy regimen.
And he's so great at this game still. But yeah, man, I know what they're trying to do, but there's other ways to do it. So again, I'm not a big fan of it. Like the Pro Bowl, man, the flag football at the Pro Bowl. again, I know they want to get guys hurt, and I love they're trying to be more aware of that. But also, man, like some of the games is not as like it's like like a 80, 90 point game, man. Like, come on, man, like that's
It's been ridiculous.
In Pro Bowls, All-Star games, stuff like that was necessary in the 80s, 90s when they were really needing to garner more of an audience all the time.
Oh my God, there's football every freaking day.
Every day now.
Every day of the week now. Monday, Tuesday. I think it's every game except for Tuesday. It's a Monday night game, Wednesday night, Thursday, Friday night game, Saturday. So it's every day except for Tuesday, I want to say. So
they found a way to fill up every gap, and then
it's everywhere. And I
even
love
during
football.
the off season, during the off season, they've now got the draft combines going on. They have
you got combines, you got Canadian Football League, right? Still, no,
I mean, it's still playing. Yep. It's all around, man.
European League is starting to take off now. As far as the European League as well, right?
They're coming back. So I mean, football it's everywhere, man. And I love the game, but again, the flag stuff, man, I'm not a fan. I think it's great for trying to keep up some entertainment level, but as a player who saw guys and know, I'm not a fan. I do like the fact they are doing, like you said, like the combine stuff and and workouts and draft stuff. That's cool. I think that's informative. And it kind of gives you a look at who's coming to the NFL that upcoming season. So I think that's cool. And they're doing a good job there.
I don't know if you caught the controversy as far as like Logan Paul. But Logan Paul was talking a lot of shit before he went into the flag football thing, as he does.
I saw it.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's a big shit talker.
Storyline, which is fine. I mean, they had a lot of people watching it. I mean, it's a storyline, I think he's set to fight, and I think he's set to box Rob Gronkowski.
I could probably see that.
I think that it's November 22nd, I believe, in Vegas.
Oh Jesus!
So
yeah.
Logan Paul has the articulation of a lobotomized person walking into a spelling bee. It's just you have to watch it because you're like he's not going to get far, and then when you do watch it, I mean, it's exactly what you thought that it was, but you don't
it's
feel
like watching the Kardashians.
It's tricky. It's and I blame a little bit of Jerry Springer because we all kind of grew up where you're like, bring him out.
I've heard that name in a long time.
It's all his fault.
The one producer said it called Jerry up. He says, Jerry, there is some people saying that they just had a threesome with you. I don't know. And then they get to his hotel room. They're like, oh, they're still here. Holy shit. Never mind. So close the door on that scenario all around.
So to close this out, Marcus, what's in the future for you, sir?
So right now, man, just continue to speak with our app launching. We're excited about that. And then we're doing some work around PR, media, and getting more organic listens to our podcast, a lot more reach with our app. And we're just really trying to elevate our business to the next level. And we're excited about where our business is heading right now into 2026 and beyond. So we're very grateful and very fortunate that people like what we do. And we're just continuing to work on that and elevating our game in every aspect of what we do.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So,
if you guys haven't checked them out, check them out on Spotify, right?
Yep. Get Authentic with Marquis Ogden. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple. We're on YouTube. You can check us out, subscribe, like, leave a 5-star rating and review, and then check out my other show, the Jaguars Squad Show. That's live every Monday, 4:30 to 5:30. And every Wednesday from 4 to 5. And our podcast, Get Authentic, is released every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 6 a.m. Eastern.
Now, are you still doing the Levin Marcus show or no?
No, I haven't done that in a long time. That was my first podcast. And so now I just have Get Authentic, and I had the Jaguar Squad Show.
Nice. It's always nice to get stuff off your chest, man, especially when you're doing like TED Talks and inspirational talking, and you're like, oh, well, let me see what I can do for you. It's nice to just get it off your chest, get it in the air, and kind of associate with different people too.
Oh, absolutely, man. It's great, for networking, getting out, meeting new people. And it's great for organic growth to your business when you're just being authentic and real. And people love your message and they love what you're about. So I appreciate y'all having me on tonight, man. Thank you so much.
We appreciate you too. We appreciate your time.
Gotcha.
No doubt,
Sparky, if you unmute yourself, you can tell them where we can find ourselves somewhere.
This is his talking part right now.
This is the talking part.
Prepare yourself.
You can find us on every single major streaming platform, including iHeart, Spotify, Spreaker, Deezer, Castbox, Pocket Cast, GeoReel, YouTube, Facebook Live Video, Google, Amazon, and wherever else every single major streaming platform is at.
Boom.
Big shout out, Marquis Ogden. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
No doubt, fellas. Thanks for having me on, fellas.
It was our absolute pleasure. Guys, make sure you tune in every Monday night. The Podguyz Podcast. I'm Tony Kaz.
Kevin Neary here.
And, of course, the ever-loving Picasso.
Blaze Parquet.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll catch you soon. Have a great night. Bye.
All right. Appreciate y'all, fellas, man.
Sign the thing. Do.
No,
I don't know. Tony's having trouble pressing buttons right here.
No, why is it not?
This is what it is. It's Zoom keeps updating bullshit. And, they could tell me update. I press the button. I have no idea what they're updating. I could